Hello everyone and welcome, I'm TheSparrowsJourney and this is Titanfall! I have no idea why I announced it that way, but it had to be done. Titanfall at this right moment is everywhere. On YouTube, on the press, on Twitch, everyone's streaming it, and I felt the need of doing something with it. I just didn't know exactly what. I thought, well, I'm just gonna give my thoughts on Titanfall. And this wasn't planned because I only was given access to the beta on Saturday, and the beta opened somewhere Thursday or last Friday, something like that. And I wasn't planning to do anything with Titanfall. Everyone was crazy to get it. The hype was above the most freaking higher walls there is. There's even people paying for a key to access Titanfall, and now it's getting on open beta. Everyone is getting access to it on Xbox. Xbox already, people are already playing it on the open beta, and on PC it's getting open beta as well. So the people that bought a key, GG for you. You're video gamers. People that play games, who understands it. Titanfall is a new game from Electronic Arts, the same company that is always releasing Battlefield games. And yes, I wanted to mention that because Titanfall has a lot of things that resemble Battlefield, at least for me. And I played a lot more Battlefield than Call of Duty, so I can compare it much more to Battlefield than Call of Duty. Nevertheless, Titanfall, a lot of people say it's a Call of Duty with mechanical, with mechs, with huge robots. That's the only difference. It's not. Two teams fighting for resources, fighting for places in the world to live. At least that's somewhat the background I've understood from the beta. Mind you that I haven't researched much about the background in the game. Today, someone, I'm not even sure who, that doesn't matter anyhow, was successful at hacking the files from the beta on Titanfall and uncovered there are a lot more things to come when the game is released. That's a good thing because as of now the beta doesn't show much, and a lot of people are kind of skeptical to give $60 for the game already on a pre-order. It was developed by Respawn Entertainment and it's being released on March. That's what I know and that's what I have for you fact-wise. What I can give you is my thoughts after playing a little while. I reached level 9 and that is already enough to give you an idea of how the game rolls, even though it doesn't uncover everything. And some things that I'm gonna mention and talk about on this video will probably cause some rant at me, because there's probably things here that I don't like and that I'm gonna mention that after playing for a while it kinda turns out normal and necessary maybe for the game to exist as it is. Anyway, I'm gonna start. The tutorial for this game is just phenomenal. One of the best tutorials I've done. I know this is like a super thing about a game, but you know, it's important. And I've noted these things when I first started to play the game. I noted them as I was playing on the go. And I want to mention the tutorial is just fantastic. You have a lot of things in Titanfall that you don't have in normal first-person shooters. For instance, and this is something that I want to mention as well, on Titanfall you play as a freaking crazy monkey. Don't tell me there's humans there. They are not humans. They're freaking gorillas or monkeys because they jump everywhere. They can walk on the walls. They can jump 20 feet tall. They have a double jump. And why? Because they carry a bag with some sort of jetpack that helps you moving around, going crazy. So you basically, when you're playing this game on smaller maps, you basically feel like a freaking monkey looking for bananas, which in this case is kills on other players. And for that reason, they probably felt the need of doing a good tutorial, and I think they've done a great job on it. I do think Titanfall is very pointed to casuals. Like very, very focused on casuals. And the first clue for me, the first influence, is a tutorial. The tutorial is so well done and explaining such a little minor details about Titanfall, and it's probably to help the most terrible players there is, the casual players that don't have the time that hardcore players have to play the game. Okay, there's classes in Titanfall as well. You have the assassin, you have a class, the most played one for me right now is the assassin. I completely love the assassin. There's a more tankish class, which is the class that uses, I don't know the name, that uses the shotgun. And there's the class that mainly focuses long range combat, which is the machine gun guy, the semi-automatic or something like that. Classes don't really, I don't think they really play a role here, because you can customize your own loadout. Yes, you're given that option to choose a primary weapon, a secondary weapon, maybe the armor, and the bonuses you have with your equipment. Stuff like that you will probably find. One thing that I disagree with, when I played it as assassin, I saw other people, like the machine gun guy, becoming invisible as well. The cloak device, the cloak skill, should be only allowed for the assassin. Because if everyone can become invisible, what's the freaking point of being an assassin? It's something that I've not unclear yet, but it's something that disturbed me a little bit at the start of the game. Now you have these things called grunts in the game, and I don't want to go into a bad tone on Titanfall and grunts specifically, because I think grunts are not that bad. I heard before playing the game that grunts were destroying the game because they were bots and they were incredibly annoying and useless in the game. Okay, they are. Okay, I agree with that. But the interface intelligence is not only bad for the grunts, but they are also bad for the titans. This is what I want to clear out. You have a mode in your Titan. You can call it your Titan and not play inside the robot. You can control your robot by giving it orders. You can ask for it to guard a position. You can ask for it to patrol a certain area. You can ask for it to follow you as you walk. It just walks behind you. What I think is incredibly annoying is that it acts like a freaking 5-year-old boy. It chooses the worst targets there is. It doesn't protect you much. It's basically the most useless robot you could ask for when you're in a battle being shot at. It's not your friend. It's gonna be like that friend you never wish you had. The grunts. They are so freaking useless in Titanfall. It's not easy to develop a good AI, okay? It's always been a problem with games, and Respawn Entertainment didn't do a good job with it so far from what I've seen. The grunts are completely useless. When you have a grunt enemy in front of you, it takes 10 seconds to see you and start firing at you. So they are basically peons. They're basically figurines in all this war. That's not necessarily bad. And now I'm entering the topic of the grunts. It adds to the experience in a sense that it's casual. If you want a more competitive game on Titanfall, the grunts are useless and it shouldn't be there. That's why I believe there should be an option to disable grunts. They will please the more competitive players and they would please the more casual ones. But I have to say this. Right now, after playing Titanfall for some hours with grunts, I don't think I can imagine Titanfall without them. And why do I say this? They really help the immersion in the game. Even though, if you're playing Titanfall the same way you're playing Call of Duty with the same intention, you won't miss them, okay? But they add to the immersion in a sense where if you walk past by them, they just say, "Awesome, sir! Thank you for helping me," or "Thank you for saving my skin there." That's really cool. You really feel that you're an officer there, you're important, and there's a war going on. The only problem with that is that when you're constantly playing and focusing on your screen, when you encounter someone on your screen, you immediately start shooting, and sometimes it's a grunt, and you become so disappointed because it's not a real player. What's worse is that when you shoot, people around you detect you in the map, and if you're facing a grunt and fighting a grunt, it will be just wasting ammo. If that's important, it is important. But you're just giving your position. Overall, grunts are not that bad, and I understand why they're in the game. And I'm not from the opinion that you should eliminate them. No, I don't think that's the solution. But they need some tweaks, and they definitely need a better artificial intelligence. The time you spent in the lobby is so freaking much. Why do you have to wait more than 1 minute on a game, waiting for a game that you already have the full players to, and there's no more slots? Why do you have to wait like a minute and a half with all slots full? Why do you have to wait so much time? It's not like anyone will speak, because I've been in a couple of games and no one speaks before a game. Why not, for instance, make possible to choose your loadout on that lobby while you're waiting for the game to start? That would be a good option, and somewhat a way to occupy you when you're waiting for the game to start. Anyway, that's just a small detail I wanted to throw out. Right now, there's only 2 maps that I know of on Titanfall, and that's pretty short, but it's a beta, okay? So beta or beta, I don't know how you want me to say it. But well, if you can't with the tutorial, there's this type of fortress where you're training right already on the fight part of the tutorial. If you can't that, it's 3 maps, but on multiplayer against other players online, right now you only have 2 maps. Today there was news that a player hacked the game files and detected that there will be at least, I heard, at least more 10 maps. That's a lot. Okay, that's really a lot. I don't know how many maps you have in Call of Duty, but 12 maps, even 10 maps is a lot. They're okay. I like them. Not too great, not bad. They do the job, I guess. The only thing that I don't like is, you know, that map, it's not the one near the sea. You know, the one that, the closest thing that I can think of is somewhat a city, a village, a modern village, whatever. That map is very small, very small to play with Titans. I mean, I'm bumping at walls and houses all the time. It's very difficult to play with Titans there, and I hope there's bigger maps more appropriate to play with Titans, especially for the game mode. And now I'm gonna enter the game mode's topic, that you can only play with Titans, or you are only supposed to play with Titans, which is the last Titan standing. I love that mode. Okay, it's a mode where you only play with the robots, the big robots, the Titans, and I loved it. For people that really like the Titan aspect of the game, they can just jump right into a map and play with a Titan. That's freaking awesome. And not only you can play with a Titan, but when your Titan is destroyed, you can jump out of it, yes, because you can open the cockpit and eject. You can play on foot against the other Titans and trying to help the remaining Titans on your team. Once you die though, you have to wait for the next round because it's permanent death. But that's amazing. I really like those modes. There's also 2 more modes for the beta, which are I should have them here. Well, I know what they are, but I don't know the exact name. Basically, the objective is to kill everyone. That's a team deathmatch. And then you have this holding points mode, where, as the name says, you have to hold points to win the game. There's a particular aspect on the game that I really like, which is when you lose your game on the free-for-all mode, you have this option to run for a ship and get the hell out of there. So it's not like, it's a small detail, but it's cool. I like it. It's not like the world is doomed and you lost. No, you still have a slight chance there at the end to get to that ship and to get the hell out of here and, you know, do something with your life. I don't know why. The Titans don't jump. That's pretty awkward. As I've already said, when you're playing on foot, your character looks like a freaking monkey. He jumps and runs everywhere. When you get on a Titan, it's completely different. You can't jump on buildings. I understand that, but it's not realistic. The game is not trying to be realistic here, I know, but it's strange. You have the usual stuff, okay? I think you have achievements. I'm not sure of this, but I think I've seen achievements on my screen when I was playing. You will level up. Okay, I'm already level 9. Well, not already. It's pretty low, but I haven't played that much. And it all looks like Battlefield. It feels like Battlefield. It should be a good thing, but for me it's not. I don't like the way Battlefield rolls outside the game itself. It's Titanfall, it's not Battlefield. They could have made something different, but it breeds Battlefield. And talking about Battlefield, why didn't they use the same engine? Why not the Frostbite engine? I mean, and now I'm gonna evaluate the graphics, which people say it was totally crap. It's not, okay? It's not. The game looks alright. It doesn't look like the cutting edge graphics you could have. It doesn't. It could be better, I give you that. But it doesn't look bad. Come on. It looks okay. The textures are not perfect. I even question why they do have an insane mode for textures, because they're really not insane at all. The game looks okay. I have a 780 Ti graphics card and it completely blown away the game. While I was recording, I was still having 120 FPS. So you could mention optimization. The game is very well optimized, but again, because I believe the graphics are not that great, obviously they don't need too many resources and the game runs fine, even though the hardware could not be the best. But again, the same question, why not Frostbite? Because there's another thing that I would like to mention, which is, and these things are coming just on my mind, when you're playing with big robots, with mech warriors, you are expecting to destroy everything around you. When you stepped on it, and you go and bump at it, I mean, when you're playing with a big robot, you will lose control of your robot for a second or two, especially if you're concentrating on the fight. You will be destroying houses, you will be destroying walls. That isn't possible here because they use the source engine. I've read somewhere that one of the developers said, but this was a long time ago, they used source engine because it was better compatible with the PlayStation 3. Games on PC will always be limited if they are also playable on consoles. That will always happen. And Titanfall is already suffering from it. God damn it, they could make the houses destroyable. Like the maps, the city map, you can get almost in all windows, in all doors. Imagine if a guy is in the house and you can't freaking reach it with your Titan, and you decide to just freaking bump at it. Just jump on it and keep destroying places while the guy is hiding. It's like this elephant looking for the rat. There's this thing called burn cards, which is another indication that this game is for casuals. Why? Burn cards are cards that you can put into play. They're really cards. They're called cards because they are really cards that you can put into play. You choose them before you choose a hand of cards before starting the game, and while you're in the game, when you die, you can choose a card to play in the game, and that will give you a boost. You can choose to run quicker during that period until you die. You can choose to spawn a Titan sooner, and again, this will stop the game from being competitive. You expect a competitive game to be equal to everyone. The sound is awesome. It's not quite up to pair with Battlefield. Battlefield for me was a mark in sound in games. I don't remember which edition. I think it was Battlefield 3, but it was just awesome. With proper headphones, you just felt like you were really in a war. But I really like what they did with the sound. It sounds okay. When you get closer to grunts, they greet you, they cheer at you. That's pretty cool. That's a small detail, but it's pretty cool. The game is costly, okay? $60 for a pre-order. Nowadays, honestly, I wouldn't recommend a pre-order to anyone unless they are really satisfied with somewhat a beta that they have played for that game. I recommend you to wait. Okay, $60 is too much for a pre-order. I like Titanfall, okay? I was somewhat skeptical because before being allowed to play the beta, I watched and heard a lot of people saying bad things about it. It's a Call of Duty with Max and everything like that. It's not, okay? I wish more games like this were made. In a sense that I stopped playing Battlefield because they completely destroyed what Battlefield was, at least for me. Call of Duty wasn't good enough for me anymore because it was the same old. People keep buying Call of Duty. One edition gets released every year. Obviously, they don't have enough time to make a different type of code. It's a franchise. The game has to continue. It can't be that much different, but it wasn't different enough for me to pay a $60 bill for a game that is completely almost the same one that I played last year, but with better graphics. Titanfall goes against that, at least for a little bit. It tries to improve, it tries to be different with this Titan thing. The game is now on open beta. You should be able to play it with, once you download Origin, that awesome launcher that we all like. Judge for yourself, come back and comment below what you think of it. If you agree, if you don't, take care and careful with Titans and robots.